We don't go to the supermarket to just pick a name for who we are. It's a deeply rooted ancestral connection. I want to repeat that word again. It's a deeply rooted ancestral connection.
Names are more than just mere labels. They're deeply embedded in the cultural, religious, and social fabric of the community. Many African names carry deep meanings related to family, lineage, and ancestry. They may reflect the circumstances of a child's birth, honor of a family member, or signify a particular family history. All these things are encased in your name. So the power of that name, when you're called, all those things are triggered. It's like a switch that lights within you, within your DNA, your spirit, your soul. Akinloye. Akin means warrior or hero. Loye means one who deserves praise. Babatunde, which means father has returned. Iyabode is mother returned. Oye Tunde. Oye is a title, an honor. Tunde is returned, like Babatunde, father returned. Uruko Abiso, that is the name that is given post-birth or on the ceremony, the naming ceremony. It's a cloak. You know, your name tells you you're somebody. It tells you who you are, where you come from, something no one can take from you. African names hold significant cultural, historical, and personal importance for individuals of African descent in the diaspora. African names are often tied to specific ethnic groups, tribes, or regions, reflecting a rich cultural heritage. They serve as a connection to one's roots, helping individuals maintain a strong sense of cultural identity.
We don't go to the supermarket to just pick a name for who we are. It's a deeply rooted ancestral connection. I want to repeat that word again. It's a deeply rooted ancestral connection. That is the meaning of name. That is why we don't get it confused. That is why I want to repeat again that in Nigeria, I want to believe that this is the way it is for many other countries, but I am from Nigeria. That is what I know better. That is why I'm making reference to that. If you come up and say, this is my name, I can guarantee you that it will take only a few seconds to identify which culture you are part of in Nigeria, at least for the major ethnic group. I don't want people to underrate this by any yardstick. It is saying, this is whom I am. You don't buy this in the market. So name is fundamentally important for us. Of course, talking about ancestral connection, I am going to pass the mic to Gloria Tino. Gloria, please tell the people who you are and what is your take about the conversation of today, the importance of African names and the diaspora identity.
Thank you, Brother Obehi. I'm trembling after Dr. Marcia's talk and yours and what I've heard so far. I was trying to think to myself, where do I begin? How do I contain myself? But first, let me start by saying greetings to everybody, to my fellow Nigerians and Yoruba. Alafia, Eku Odun, Eku Yedun. My name is Gloria Tinu Ugumbadejo. I'm an ordained minister, a psychotherapist, a writer, and also an ancestral healing coach, supporting African women in the diaspora in the journey of healing their ancestral wounds, connecting with their lineage, and finding inner transformation, inner peace, reclaiming core sense of identity. I'll talk a bit more about that later on. Now, African names. I love African names. I love names generally, and that's why I'm always struck when my friends in the West, I ask them what their names mean, and they say it means nothing. And I feel a sense of pain and sorrow for them. But African names in particular, that's what I know about Yoruba names and the Yoruba tradition. So that's what I want to focus on. African names hold significant cultural, historical, and personal importance for individuals of African descent in the diaspora. I think more than ever before, our names at this moment, like Dr. Marcia said, it's a cloak. You know, your name tells you you're somebody. It tells you who you are, where you come from, something no one can take from you. The names are more than just mere labels. They're deeply embedded in the cultural, religious, and social fabric of the community. African names are often tied to specific ethnic groups, like my brother said, tribes or regions reflecting a rich cultural heritage. They serve as a connection to one's roots, helping individuals maintain a strong sense of cultural identity. Many African names carry deep meanings related to family, lineage, and ancestry. They may reflect the circumstances of a child's birth, honor of a family member, or signify a particular family history. Are you hearing me? All these things are encased in your name. So the power of that name, when you're called, all those things are triggered there. It's like a switch that lights within you, within your DNA, your spirit, your soul.
Hello, and thank you for checking out this video. I'm Obehi Ewanfoh, the host of the African Diaspora Storyteller series. Every 2 weeks, we meet up on LinkedIn to talk about different ways we can leverage the power of storytelling as people of African descent. Now, this is it. We are uniting the millions of Africans in the diaspora through the power of our story. It does sound like what you are interested in. Make sure to subscribe to this channel and share this video with your friends who might need it. Now, back to today's conversation.
You know, in the Yoruba tradition, there are 3 forms that names take, or how names may be chosen. One can have multiple names, like my brother just mentioned. I have several. I'll mention some of them later on, particularly in the Yoruba tradition, you know. And it's lovely to hear other African cultures that there are lots of similarity, which again shows the relevance and the importance of our names. Excuse me. Like Oruko Amutonwa means a predestined name, or one that is given. You come to the world with that name according to the circumstances of your birth. This name reflects the unique features of the child's birth. It may include factors such as the day, time of birth, or a family's experience of the birth. For instance, my youngest daughter's name, her birth was quite traumatic, and without a doubt, it had divine intervention, alongside the doctor's spectacular skills, which also was aided by higher powers. So when this precious child looked at us, we all understood her name was already determined as Oluwafemi. God loves me. It had to love her to have brought her safely into the world the way she did. Until today, she was born in the UK, lives here, but she walks, how she carries herself is with an unconscious knowledge reinforced every time her name is called. She loves her name. She actually believes that there's something special about who she is. And that, to me, I say to myself, if this is all I've done, giving her this sense of identity, I've done my job. Because living in this world for the young people, the struggles they have, for you to be able to think of yourself as somebody important, somebody special, somebody that comes from something incredible that is more than you, and that comes through the power of your name, that is a gift that keeps giving. The second consideration for naming a child is Oruko Abiso. That is the name that is given post-birth or on the ceremony, the naming ceremony. This is a name that, is chosen based on additional considerations or events that occur after the child's birth. It could be a name that expresses the family's aspiration for the child, honors a particular family member or ancestor, or reflects the family's experiences following the birth. Again, all of this wealth of feeling and impact is coming through the name that they're naming the child. For instance, names like Babatunde, which means father has returned, is a great honor to an elder who has passed away just before the child is born. So the child is given this name that is honoring an ancestor. That is a very powerful thing to give a child. Yabode is mother returned. Let me talk about my another one of my brothers, my elder brother. His name was Oyetunde. Oye is a title, an honor. Tunde is returned, like Babatunde, father returned. Oyetunde is honor, title returned. So in his case, his name could be interpreted to be an honor has returned with his child. It could be a restoration of honor to the family or positive circumstances surrounding his birth. And I can tell you, my brother Oyetunde walked in the world as if he knew something we didn't. We always told him that he walked as if he was a king. What did he know? And it was that name. When he called his name, and they said, "What's your name?" He said, Oyetunde. He called it as if we used to tell him, "This is just a small, you can't drag this name forever. It's a small name." But he called it as if he knew something we didn't. My other brother's name was Akinloye. Akin means warrior or hero. Loye means one who deserves praise. His name could be interpreted as the family's admiration for what they believed this child was coming into the world with. And this was our golden child, believe me. He had so much courage and bravery. Everything he touched turned to gold. He also loved his name. He would call himself. Never mind other people calling him. He used to call himself all the time, Akinloye. And we used to say, "You can't just call your name for nothing." He said, "Yes, because my name means something." So this again just shows the power of names. Let us instill in our children the importance of their names. I now want to tell you a little bit about my name before I release the microphone. When I wondered why my mother called me Gloria. I used to say, "Well, why does everybody else have Yoruba names and I'm Gloria?" Because that's the name she insisted I was called. And like my brother Obehi, when he was talking about his mother and his name, I smiled because after my mother had these two, I call them knucklehead brothers of mine, she was desperate for a girl. So when I arrived, they said she just said, "Gloria in excelsis Deo, hallelujah, Gloria in excelsis." She kept saying that. So that's how the name Gloria came. I came to bear that name. But in the interim, names also come from family members, elders, uncles, aunts when a child is born. Without consulting one another, they send names in the Yoruba tradition. And when my names arrived, they named me Atinuke, Abike, Oyetoke. Do you see a theme there? The ke at the end? Let me tell you the meaning of my names. Atinuke means from within the womb, the child was pampered. Abike means born to be cared for, born into wealth, born to be pampered. Oyetoke means one who is bestowed with the title of wealth and one who has wealth within and is worth pampering. So, I mean, they set me up for life. I came in here thinking I was meant to be pampered. So the smile my mother claimed I showed when I was born also implies that I knew how I had arrived. I was well pleased, and I knew this life that I'd come, I was going to be loved and pampered, and I have been favored. I have been shown love.